Hey guys, it's Maymay. Recently, I had the incredible pleasure of speaking with a school in London to a group of students that were ages 5 to 11 years old. They were so cute, y'all. They made explosion boxes, and it was the most fun to be a part of that. And so I want to send them a thank you card for allowing me to have some part in the day. And their school mascot, lovingly, is a dolphin. So we're going to make a thank you card featuring a dolphin. And I thought I'd take you along. So my players for today I should show you is Oceans of Happiness. We're going to make the wiper card from the photo play kit, and I'm going to use our new water punch, our wave punch. So I don't really know how this is going to turn out. I'm just going to take you along and we'll see what we do. Breaking in here to ask you to hit that red subscribe button. It's free. Also hit the bell button beside it. You can help me reach my big goal this year of 400,000 subscribers. Okay, back to crafting. So let's start with the base of our water, well, not the water, but of our wiper card. And here's what I want to do. I want to create the sky. Now, when we go to put this together, I'll talk to you more about how the kit works, but I happen to know this is my background of the kit, so I want to go ahead and work on the sky. So we're going to use a punch to do that too. Now, you've seen us do this a lot. This is where we take our 2-inch scallop circle punch and we create a cloud template, basically. This may not be the smoothest video. There may be some choppiness to it because I've not made this before. So I don't really know exactly where we're going. This is just in my head, and I want to try to get it on paper, and I thought I'd just put on the camera. So this is going to be what I'm going to make my clouds with. I'm going to use a ink blending tool and tumbled glass distress oxide ink. I think this is the color I want. Again, I haven't done it, so I don't know. Now, if you've never made clouds like this is a tip I saw on YouTube one day, flipping around. You take this 2-inch scallop circle, okay? You lay it out on your project, and you ink around it, and you get these clouds. See how cute this is? This is our favorite way. It is the fastest way and our favorite way to make quick clouds. And you just go around the edge of it, and anywhere those scallops are, you just get a different tone and a different cloud. So I'm going to run around, and I'm going to do this a lot on this page. I want a lot of clouds, and I'm going to go ahead. Some of this won't show. Some of this down here will be under the water, but I'm going to go ahead and just treat this like this whole area could show, and just go ahead and do a bunch of clouds all across the top. Now, I have a habit of going too far. See how that looks? I really love how that looks. The only thing I'm going to do is go a little lower. What I mean by going too far is a lot of times I want to come back up here and help it. I'm not today. I'm stopping. But I am going to go a little lower because I want to be sure that our sky goes behind the water feature of our card. And I'm pretty sure that's low enough. Isn't that adorable? A scallop circle and ink. That's it. Love it. Okay, now what I want to do is work on the part for underneath. Now, in your kit, this is what you get. This piece is pre-scored for you. This is kind of the piece that's going to be the background of your wiper card. Then there's this piece, and it is also pre-scored, and these glue together like this, okay? But I want this to be the water, and I want the dolphin to pop out of here. So I need to put some water paper here. So let me show you what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to trim this down a little bit. It's a little too tall for what I need, so I'm just going to cut some of this off at the top. So I think I'll take off about 1/2 inch. I can start there, and if I want to take off more, I can. I think I'm just going to start right there with it. And the reason for this is because I want there to be waves that hang over the top, but I don't want them to be so far over the top that they kind of cover everything. So to make this easier on me, this is where we're going to start. Now, again, I have not made this before, so we're just going to do this together. Here's what I did. Inside of these score lines, I want to make sure you can see where my score lines are. Let me see if I can get them for you. There's one. There we go. See the 2 score lines? I'm going to cover each of these with water paper, but what I want to do is I'll show you. I want the waves to hang above the top like we talked about. So what I did was I cut a piece the right width for my on the other side of my first score line, and now I'm going to punch the waves at the top. So basically, I'm going to just custom make these panels to fit on here. So I don't really have a set measurement to tell you what to cut. When I'm done, I'll tell you. The reason for this is, you know, with these punches, you just never know exactly how much they're going to take off. So I'm just going to have to do this way and see what I get. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you just have to play. You guys, this wave punch is the cutest thing. Look at this. Look at the waves we're able to create. Aren't they cute? So here's what I was saying. You might want to save these because these are also waves, these little offcuts. So here's what I'm saying. I knew the width I wanted, but I didn't know the height I needed. I want those waves to hang above like that. So what I'm going to do is put them where I want them. Matter of fact, here's a good place to use your cutting mat. If you want to get everything kind of straight, use your cutting mat, line this up on one of the lines, and then take this little guy and use that cutting mat to make sure you're getting it straight. Like, see, that's perfect up there at the top. So I can use that as my guide. Perfect. Then I'm going to take a pencil and come down here, and I'm just going to mark where I need to cut this. And it feels like about there. So let's put this on the trimmer and see what we get. So this should be the exact right piece that I need to go right here and have a little bit of a white border with the I want to say clouds, with the water hanging over. Does that make sense? Now I need to do the same thing here. Now this is 2 little tiny panels that I only want to do about an inch, maybe an inch and an eighth wide, but I want to go ahead and get this part first. So what I'm going to do is, using that leftover piece that I had, I'm going to go ahead and do waves in it. I just think the waves should carry all the way across. These are fun little cards to do. Fun, fun, fun. All right, and let's get this side done. Cool. Again, save those little wave offshoots. You can use those somewhere. Mike can use them on this card, not sure. All right, now I want to cut this down to fit those little pieces. So I'm going to cut this to 1 1/8. I think that's pretty close to where I need to be. Now look what I almost did. I almost ran this blade up here. And if my blade was super sharp and not well worn, this probably would be fine. But not to take the chance of messing up that wave, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lift this up and sink the blade. I'm going to sink it into where there's more body of that cardstock and then pull back. And that'll give me a much better cut. So let's see how this one looks on this end. This end is a little bit thinner than the next. Look, that's going to be really good right there. That should work just fine. I might need to trim a little bit, but not too much. So because of that, I'm going to come right here and get my next piece that is 1 1/8. And my waves should carry on. They should just match. Okay, so here's my full piece. Here's my first panel that I cut here. Okay, the second panel is going to go here. And then our third panel will go right here. So we have waves that will just carry across. Is that not adorable? I love that. Now, I'm not going to put those down yet. I have them ready, but I want to assemble the card before I do that, just to be safe. So let's go back to the card. This is where I need to go to my instructions. So these kits come with full instructions, and what I'm going to do is flip this over and let you kind of watch as I go. So step 1 says, locate the 5.5 by 4 1/4 card base. That is the piece we did the clouds on, okay? It says fold on the score lines in the directions as shown. This will be the back piece of your card. So I just kind of pre-read this so I could know what I was working with. So do you see how this is folded? Let's do that. So I'm going to fold up, try to get that nice and square, fold down. If you wanted to treat the back of your card, now's the time to do that as well. Go ahead and do all your treatments before you do all the folding. And then I'm going to fold this little panel back on itself, like so. And just crease that down. So it should look like this, okay? Then it says to locate the 5.5 by 3 inch card base. Now that's that little piece that I trimmed down, okay? I'd already looked at it. I knew what I was working with, but I trimmed it down a little bit. So this one we're going to fold a little bit different. We want this first fold to come over. So I'm going to do it like this and then crease it down. And then I'm going to go opposite. So I'm going to go back on this one and I'll crease it down. All right, so you can see here now, we are folded like this. Then they go together like this. It says adhere the first scored section of the front piece to the left side of the back piece, aligning it with the bottom left corner. Now this is important because you're going to have to put this little mechanism in. So you want to follow your instructions until you've done this one the first time. So I'm going to open this out like this, okay? I'm going to add some glue. And I'm only going to put it here on this little panel because this is the one we're putting down first. Just a little bit of art glitter glue like that. And then we're going to line it up at the bottom corner. And I'm going to go ahead to kind of be ahead of the game and flatten this down and make sure we're good and even everywhere. And that is the only place we need to glue it for now. According to our instructions, the next step is to trim out the wiper mechanism and fold on the score line. Now here's what's cool. They already gave us the template for this, so all we do is trim this out, and it is already scored on the line it needs to be scored. Like we don't have to do anything but trim this little guy out and then use him in our card. So as you can see, we already have a score line here. It's already made for us after we've trimmed, and we just fold that down. So if I'm looking at the little piece, I've got it laying here beside it, it's folded down like so. Now we need to go to step 5. I'm going to open this out. I want to read it. It says, open the front piece to the left. You see how it's got it here? Let's do that. So we're going to open the front piece to the left. And then it says, adhere the wiper mechanism to the front piece as shown, aligning it with the top right corner of the folded section. So do you see this? Now I'm going to have to look at it and study it for just a second because I want to make sure I get it right. And it looks like this to me. And again, I want to look at it really closely. And it looks like adhesive only under this section. So only under the little fold section. So let's do it. Let's be brave. If I mess it up, I mess it up, and you'll learn. You won't mess yours up. By the way, this little kit comes with multiples of these. I want to say you get 3. Let me read how many wiper cards you get in this kit. It's really cute. Yeah, it makes 3 wiper cards. It's really kind of cool. All right, so let's glue this little piece in. How easy is that? Just like so. And then it says, step 6, apply adhesive to the left end of the front piece using the measurement shown. Fold the right side of the back piece. Fold in the right side of the back piece. Fold down the wiper mechanism. So the wiper mechanism gets folded down like so. Looks like that. Okay. And then you adhere this. It says you close this. Look at that. That's how it'll do. How cool is that? Super easy. All right, let's glue it. So I'm going to put my glue on this side because I'm not using a sticky tape. You could totally use a sticky tape here, no problem. But since I'm not, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to close this guy down. I've got my wiper piece inside, and then we're just going to square everything up. Y'all, this is so cool. I love this. Then it says, hold each side of the card and pull apart. The mechanism will pop up. Oh, look, it does. Do you see that? The mechanism pops up. Now, I want dolphins on my mechanism. So let me show you what we're going to do. I want to glue my water features on really, really quick first. So let's get these guys and put them on because I want to see what we're looking like. Look how cute this looks. So cute. All right, so let's add glue back here. Get this little panel glued on. Lay it down flat so I can do this easy. My navy nails are working with this card today. That's kind of cool. So there's that. And because when you open it, you also see this side, I want to add those waves we cut here as well. Look how cute this is going to be. All right, let's make the dolphin. In a recent technique video, I showed you how to do mirror stamping. And I need to mirror stamp this dolphin, and I want 3 dolphins. And the reason I have to mirror stamp it is because the way my wiper card is, I'll show you, I want my dolphins to jump out of the water, okay? And if I use it as it is, they're jumping kind of this way, but I want them to jump out. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to mirror stamp. So I've got my waffle flower mini media mat. So remember, I cut some off so it would fit inside my Misty. And I'm going to place my stamp in, and I'm going to ink it up really good with a pigment ink. I think pigment works best because it stays good and wet longer. So I'm going to ink this up like so. And then I'm going to send it over here. Now, I got some ink where I don't want it. And what's my rule? If you get ink where you don't want it, you're going to get ink where you don't want it. So I'm going to wipe that off. So I'm going to send this guy over. Now, the cool thing is this. I can stamp him one time, okay? I could pick him up right now and be fine. But what I'm going to do is do him one more time so I get a really dark mirrored dolphin. So there's that. I've got him inked twice. And now I'm just going to bring my cardstock over. And because I'm using my media mat, you see here it's got like a little lip right here. I can lay that in just like so. This is just a scrap of paper. And I'm just going to rub around and pick this up. Well, make sure that ink has time to transfer. And just pick him up really easily there. And I'll show you. It's such a good impression. It does such a good job. Now I want to do it again because I need 3. So I'm going to do it 2 more times. Now, I had an afterthought. Remember I told you I haven't planned this card? I want to color these with markers. I use pigment ink for my mirror stamping. If I use an alcohol marker with pigment ink, it can be an issue. Here's the beauty. It can smear your ink is what it can do. Here's the beauty of pigment. It stays wet longer than other inks, right? It's almost not wet. It's almost just magnet. So what I'm going to do, and I did not powder my surface ahead of time, so I'm going to have to deal with that, but it'll be okay. What I'm going to do is clear emboss these guys so that it won't smear when I'm coloring with my alcohol marker. So I'm just running this powder over, And this will work. It will just lock that line into place for me, and I won't have to worry about it. So now let's do this guy. If you're not just, oh, look at there, at least it fell on there. If you're not just doing this willy-nilly as you go, like I'm just making this card up as I go, then you could pre-plan this, but I didn't. All right, so let's put this back into our jar. And this is clear, by the way. So clear embossing powder. And you always want to check, because I'm real bad about picking up my white embossing powder instead. It's still beautiful, but you'll lose your black line and you'll get that white line instead. All right, let me clean my surface with my cloth to get that last little bit up. Now we're going to heat this so that it will melt onto the line. And off camera, I preheated my glue gun. I just turned it on and let it run for like 30 seconds. You really want to do that. You get a much better, quicker heat and less warping that way. So let's melt our embossing. And now I'll show you, do you see how my line is locked into place and I won't have any smearing? That's what I wanted. All right, let me color these guys. Okay, we're all colored. Now we fussy cut. So I got them all fussy cut, and now I'm taking my Memento dual marker, and I'm using the brush tip end, and I'm just running around the edge to make it look like I did a perfect fussy cutting job, because I didn't. Do you see this? Can you see how that white edge is there? So watch what happens when I take the marker. Now here's what's important. Put your marker from the back side of the image. Don't do this from the front. If I slip in any way, I'm going to slip to the back, and that way all my marks will be on the back of the image. But look at the difference. See how much it looks like I cut it perfect? I didn't. He was very, very off. So we're just going to go around and finish him up, make him look cute, and we'll finish the card out. Now, this is where I have to do a little bit of figuring. Number one, how do I want my dolphins to look? And number two, how do I get them in there so that they fit? Does that make sense? I think the best thing to do is to bring this guy up and to glue them something like this and see how they do. See, I think they're so cute jumping like the three of them together. Because this is going to a school, I wanted a school of dolphin. But the question is, are they going to pop down in there? So let me glue them together like I want them. I may have to place them a couple times on that little piece, but that shouldn't be a big deal. I may even use a glue dot at first just to try it out. So let's put this guy to the back. I just think the lighter color one looks good back there in the back. And the biggest thing for me is I want to see all their faces. Does that make sense? Like I want to be able to see that there's three of them jumping together. So there's those two like that. And then we'll bring this guy over here as well, because I want to be able to see all three of them. Super cute. Aren't they adorable? Oh my goodness. All three of our dolphins, if I can pick them up. So there they are. And then my plan, like I said, is to glue them to this so that they jump out like so. Okay, so let's see what happens. Let's just test it. Worst case scenario, I'll have to peel them off of here and move them, but I think they're going to work just fine. So glue, and then I'm going to use their little tails to adhere them down. Let's see how we do here. Let's just see how we do. All right, I'm going to glue them closer this way because I think I have a better shot at making them happen if I glue them closer to the card or closer to the fold. See what I'm saying? Oh, look, that's perfect. They go just inside and they come just out. All right, I'm going to make sure they're glued down really well. They're going to have to travel across the pond. Ha, ha, ha. Get it? Across the pond. They are going to have to travel, so I want them to stay on good. So now that I know exactly where they're going, I can really get this guy glued down well. And that's helping to glue them down to our little flap even better. Okay, so let's test it and see what we get. So when we close it down, so when the recipient receives the card, it will look like this. Of course, we're going to decorate it more. But then when they open it, oh my goodness, you guys, that is exactly what I wanted to happen. I love it. Okay, now I'm going to use the stamp set. Let me show you this. I'm going to use the stamp set and all these little pieces to decorate the front and add a sentiment. And I'm going to do that off camera because I got a lot of coloring to do, but we'll be right back. I did something off camera. I didn't mean to. I meant for you guys to see this, but I used my stamp set called Action. If you've not seen this one, it's this little guy that's got all the action words. So, so good. You need this one in your stash. Here's what I used. I used this little arrow and the word pull, which is right here. And I did pull with an arrow facing down and pull with an arrow because I want the recipient to know, because I feel like this is going to be in the envelope for a while. And you'll notice when it's like this, it doesn't look like much, but they need to know to pull it to get the dolphin out. So isn't that cute? Okay, from my same stamp set from the Oceans of Happiness set, there is a sentiment that says this card has a porpoise. And I think that is funny. It does have a porpoise to say thank you, but it also has porpoise. So, or porpoise? Not sure. So I'm going to stamp this. Probably should have done it ahead of time. I'm just going to lay it flat. And I'm going to stamp it in a cloud right here, because I think it'll show really good right there. So this card has a porpoise. And it won't show, you know, the porpoise do not show until you open it. Isn't it cute? Love it. Now, even better. Shannon did some coloring for me, which I love. So I went to the Cricut and I used our free SVG and I cut all these guys out. And Shannon used markers for the first time. Are you guys proud of her? Tell her in the comments how proud you are. She's not big on alcohol markers. She's usually a pencil colorer, but I use markers, so she had to use markers, and I think it was good. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to just decorate the front of this guy with all these little pieces. All this from the same stamp set, so I didn't dig into anything else. We're just using the same one, and I just think this little treasure chest needs to live right down here. And then I thought this little piece of like seaweed would be cute down there with it. So I'm going to put this down here, kind of beside it. So we're just kind of doing the ocean. I thought this guy might look cool here and kind of be a surprise when you open it, because you won't see him until you open it. So I'm going to stick him down there, kind of here, just not quite perfectly straight up at an angle there. And then this little guy, I love the green fish. We needed a little green in there. I want him to kind of come up out of the water a little bit, like up a little bit, like maybe he's looking at the dolphin. So he's kind of angled up. And then this little guy can be swimming in here. This is so cute. This is a fun little card. I hope they really enjoy it. I think they will. And then I'm going to put this little guy right down here to complete out our little ocean scene. Okay, so this is our finished card, and when the recipient gets it, they'll see the pull notifications and pull that to see the dolphin. And I want to show you what I did on the back. So I'm putting my hand over the note, because if they do see it, I want them to wait and see the note when they get it. But I want to show you this. I cut a piece for the back, and I used this wood grain cardstock because it was perfect lines for me to write on, because I have really bad handwriting, but I wanted it to be in my handwriting. So this is a really good tip for the back of your cards, to use these wood grain pieces like lined notebook paper. So there you go. That is our wiper card. Y'all, so easy and so fun and really easy to decorate. And I want to show you the pack again. So this is the pack. You get 3 inside of here. And on the back, they even give you some like examples, which this is where I saw that I could change the shape of that and not have to use it just like it came. And I thought that was cute. So I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget, all the supplies will be linked below. I think this is adorable, and I cannot wait to get this to go across the pond to our friends at Dolphin School. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. Don't forget, if you make one of these cards, I want to see it over on our customer gallery at maymaymadeit.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying so hard to get to 400,000 this year, which is a huge goal, but we're going to try to do it. And with your help, we can. Just click that red button. It's free. There's no charge to subscribe. You just click the red button and you have become a subscriber. Hey, thanks so much for watching. And until next time, bye now.